Okay, hi everyone. My name is Tom. We're going to find out all about what you're interested in, what you like writing about, and we're going to do it all over the next 4 days around the theme of Remembrance Day. But first, why should you listen to me claiming I'm a poet if I've never done a poem for you, right? Because how do you know I'm telling the truth? How do you know I'm authentic? How do you know I'm actually even a poet? I could just be a big imposter. So, has anyone ever been in the situation where their mum, dad, brother or sister, granny or grandpa comes in to wake them up and they say, I don't want to get up today? Have you ever been in that situation? What happens to you today? Has that adult ever said to you, but you're wasting your potential? Have you ever heard that before? You're wasting your potential. Now, have you ever thought, what does that even mean? Rise and shine, small friend of mine. I hope you slept all right. The sun will soon flood through this room as day takes over night. Go away. Not today. I'm not going to get up. I'm staying here, so leave me be and keep the curtains shut. You don't mean that. The day awaits. It's time to shake a leg. The world is waiting just for you, so we need you out of bed. Why do you always exaggerate? The world doesn't wait for me. The world wouldn't notice if I slept all day. Please, just leave me be. And watch you waste all that potential. That would be a sorry scene. What's this potential you're obsessed with? What does potential even mean? Okay, I'm going to tell you a story now, but when I tell you that is that, you will never see things the same again and I cannot take it back. In our core is a plus and a minus, and they're eternally at play. They give you the power to add goodness to the world or to take some good away. You see, the global goodness number is such a delicate amount, and that trusted total tally takes us all into account. Whenever enough of us are plussing, the global goodness is increased, though still the minus lurks inside us as a menace to the peace. A little look through human history tells us all we need to know. It's no surprise the toughest times were when that number got too low. But I'm so small and insignificant compared with all the universe. Why can't I just stay home in bed? At least I wouldn't make things worse. Because you have in you potential. It's all the pluses you could add. It's the amount of good you're capable of, and it surpasses all things bad. Only you can know how much that is in any given day, but if you don't contribute what you could, that potential starts to fade. When that's the case, the global goodness slips into decline when one as wonderful as you forgets the value of your time. All the things that make life special, all the colours, sounds and tastes, they lose a bit of magic when your goodness goes to waste. However, thankfully, for all our sakes, the reverse is also true. Here's what happens if you even try to do the best that you could do. Imagine, while we're out today and we're dodging pavement cracks, you spy a beetle belly up and you flip him off his back. Would you still tell me it wasn't worth it? Or that nobody would care, that you added a touch of goodness to the world by being there? But that's such a tiny thing to do. Would I get a plus for that? My friend, you could plant a tree or make your bed or even pet a cat, a word of warmth to someone struggling, or give your grandparents a call. A smile amidst a sea of frowns could mean the difference to us all. And even though these pluses can't be seen, I can assure you they're real. You'll never doubt it's working just from the way it makes you feel. And even when life leaves you weary, somehow you'll find the strength you need. And the global goodness grows with each good word and each good deed. Imagine if you spent a lifetime plussing. You just can't fathom it, my friend. It might just make your life magnificent, but you won't know till the end. So get up now and join me, and let's just do the best we can. We'll think of ways we can contribute. We'll start today and make a plan. And if you stumble or fall short sometimes, don't panic. Think instead. The whole world got a little bit better the moment you got out of your bed. Cheers. We have 4 days in each other's company. Day 1, now, we have nothing. Day 4, all of you are going to be able to do what I just did there. Right? Yeah. Seems logical. Day 1, today we're going to think about ideas gathering. Where do ideas come from? How do you get them? How do you grow them? How do you cultivate them? Day 2, we're going to go into writing. How do we get that idea into words on the page? Day 3, we're going to go into drafting, editing, and preparing for performance. Day 4, performance, right? Sound good? Let's talk about ideas. Ideas. This, I've got to say, is the thing that I hear most. I've gone into many schools to talk about poetry, to talk about writing poems, and guess, what is the first question that pops into the brains of children all over the country when I say you've got to write a poem? What do you think the first question might be? Yes, Charlotte. How? That's a very good question. Try another one. The first question that I always run into when I'm trying to write anything is, what should I write about? Yeah. Right? That can be quite tough. What should I write about? Your teacher, it's all well and good saying you've got to write a poem today, but it's like, well, the world is full of things, and also my head is right now full of nothing. So how should I know what to write about? This is where we've got to find our stimulus. Can anyone tell me what a stimulus is?
It comes from the word stimulate, which is to sort of like encourage. I'm guessing stimulus is probably like encouragement or maybe something.
Can we all take a moment to just give a round of applause to your classmate, please? Yes, exactly. Stimulus. It is our acorn, right? It is our idea. It is the seeds that we're going to grow into the tree. Imagine if the finished poem is a big old tree. It doesn't start as that, does it? It starts as a tiny little acorn. That acorn is your idea. But how do we find it? How do we find it? And once we find it, then we've got to do all the other things. We've got to nurture it, we've got to care for it, we've got to water it, we've got to grow it. But first, you've got to find an idea. So there are two types of writing. There's writing for you and there's writing for an objective. First, we're going to talk about writing for you. So how should you figure out what it is you should pursue, what you should turn into your idea? I think you need to figure out what you care about. Because only you will write about what you care about better than anybody else. So tell me, share with me. I want to know, what does Heathbrook Primary School care about? It can be anything. It can be your cat. It can be football. It can be your favourite game. It can be the way your mum makes your favourite chicken nuggets and chips. Yes. What do you care about?
Feelings.
Feelings. What's your name?
Victor.
Victor cares about feelings. Perfect. Charlotte, what do you care about?
I care about everything except my brother.
Everything. Interesting. An exclusion of care. Okay. Friends of Heathbrook Primary School, cast your eyes upon our board. This is the seed house. This is where we begin to find our stimulus. Now, if I asked you to write a poem about something that you cared about, this is what I always do to begin with. I get a big piece of paper, or I do it in my head, or I do it on a computer. Absolutely anywhere. And you begin writing down, like, what do I care about? What am I thinking about? The first activity we are going to do is I'm going to pass around some pictures. Do these guys have any scrap paper and pens that they can write on? We're going to hand out some scrap paper. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to each try and write, we're going to draw little circles to be our 5 seeds. And we're going to try and come up with 5 things we're interested in that we could potentially explore for writing a poem. Okay. Now, for the next 5 minutes, I would like you to draw 5 circles on your page. And in each of those circles, I would like you to put an idea. Now, the idea, the only rule is it has to be something that you personally care about. Okay? So we're trying to find our first 5 seeds that are going to turn into our poetry. Oh, no, he didn't. Yes, he did. Poetry. That's what we're making, right? Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Hands on your head when you're done. 3, 2, 1, and pencils down. We're going to play the nominate game. So, what we're going to do is we're going to nominate someone to tell us about one of their seeds. And when we do that, their hands are free. So, I'm going to start.
One.
Yeah, just tell me about one.
My grandpa survived cancer and 3
Grandpa survived cancer and 3 heart attacks. Very nice job. Emmy, would you nominate one of your classmates whose hands are on their head who you would like to free? Poetry, your hands are free. Could you tell us about one of your seeds?
My rats.
Your rats?
Yes.
Poetry, you are just incredibly interesting. Poetry, you have rats. What are your rats called?
Moon, Biscuit and Pearl.
Moon, Biscuit and Pearl. Poetry, who would you like to free? As we are halfway through, we're ready to move on to our second type of ideas gathering. So, everything we have done so far is what I do if I'm looking for an idea that's just for me, if I'm going to write a poem that I want to write. But if I'm in a situation where I have to write a poem about a specific topic, there are 2 ways you can do that. You can use words or images to give you ideas. So, let's start. Yeah, this is a partner's one. With the images that are now in front of you, try and find an image that you would like to be your starting point, and then exactly the same as the idea seeds that you've just done with your own interests, try and give me 5 words that you think about when you're looking at that image. 5 words. So in each bubble, there'll just be 1 word, and it's something that caught your imagination from the image. Okay, now, for the next 1 minute, think about, if I was going to come round, think which word interests you the most. Which word would you want to tell me about? So start looking at your 5 and start enclosing it. As the aim of the game for the next 4 days is to help you guys come up with a poem centered around the idea of remembrance in World War I. The pictures that you have in front of you, can anyone guess where these pictures might be from? Yeah. World War I. So these are all pictures of over 100 years ago, of people who lived in a very different situation to the one we're in today. And all of these people that you're looking at in these pictures aren't here anymore, but they were in these pictures, and they were just like you. They had thoughts and feelings and hopes and dreams, and they were thinking about things, and they had things that they had to do. So, in order to finish off for today and to recap, I want to imagine if tomorrow, when we start on the writing, we were going to pick up with our seed, with our stimulus. If you could all just, we're going to go around, if you could all just tell me what's that 1 word that you took from your picture that interested you, that stood out to you. What's your name? Kayla. What word did you decide to water? Happy. Ah, that's a picture from the day it was decided that the war was over. So he seems very happy because he didn't want to fight anymore. Yeah, and what about you? Formal. Everyone's very formal. Everyone's in not school uniforms, but their army uniforms. Yeah.
Fight to the death.
To fight to the death. Oh, imagine having to do that. Yeah.
Full of spirit.
Pardon?
Full of spirit.
Full of spirit. Full of spirit. Worried, yeah, they'd definitely be worried.
Worried of mine.
Kindness. Human kindness shining through. The idea is, if you're about to go on this journey of creating this piece of work, of creating this poem, you have to find what's your first step going to be. And sometimes that's an emotion, sometimes that's a thing like fire or a bullet or a helmet. Sometimes it's kind of an adjective, a describing word. And what you've all got now is you've all got these pieces of papers. Are all of your names on these pieces of papers? Because you're going to need them tomorrow, yeah? Okay, we'll leave them here because I'll collect them in. But tomorrow, we're going to start the even more interesting bit. We're going to start turning what is currently a single word, we're going to start turning that into the basis of a poem. Well, Heathbrook Primary School, it was lovely to spend an hour ideas gathering with you today, and tomorrow we're going to start writing poems. Fab, have a lovely rest of the day. Thanks for having me, guys. Well done to everyone in here. Did really good. Well done, everybody. Really good concentration.